and big Kanye West fan. All of us are. So you gotta say our piece on I guess the latest comment, but then we'll probably go a little bit deeper than the latest comment and just talk about some of his other stunts also. So with no further ado, I'm Captain Lewis, Captain Antoine Lewis up here in T Dot, Canada. Hey,
Yeah, I'm Captain Dan Anderson down here in Louisiana, Fort Polk, middle of nowhere.
And I'm General Mike Jackson, Chicago.
all right, for sure. So Kanye's a hometown boy, right? He brought Chicago out to send us. We got to give him his proper respect first off. I don't think nobody just wants to trash the brother, but we got to realize it was a Twister, you know what I mean? And we had Common. Twister was I'd say like a nice little gangster style rap, fast rap, revolutionized the game like that. Then Common came. Common was more on the educated tip, all right. And then Kanye came and just broke all the rules. So if you take a brush and you brush your hair backwards, you know how that feel. It don't always feel easy.
Right.
Right? Especially if you got your waves locked in and everything, you got your way of doing shit. You just take that brush and brush it back. Why would you do that? Right?
I don't know nothing about that.
Ah.
I don't have them problems.
So I guess to open up the conversation, I mean, Dave, how did you feel about his comments?
Yeah, it was his statements were definitely interesting. Initially, it was hard for me to really wrap my mind around the message that he was trying to deliver. But I went ahead and took some time, just kind of digest his statements, and then came up with how he reached the conclusion that he reached, that slavery was a choice. So, based on my understanding of the statements, it sounds like he pretty much laid out two premises. One is that black people were enslaved for 400 years, and we know that slavery is factual. And also that because of that slavery, black individuals or black people were mentally imprisoned. And based on those two premises, then slavery must have been a choice. And I think that there's a lot of errors in using those two premises to jump to that conclusion. Like, yes, black people were enslaved for 200 years. And yes, some were more than likely mentally enslaved. But let's be completely candid. There were many slave revolts, not just with Nat Turner or with Harriet Tubman or Sojourner Truth. I mean, there were tons of slavery revolts. And yes, most of them were unsuccessful, unfortunately. And it's funny how our oppressors at that time took those revolts and basically made the accusation that, or essentially tried to confirm this idea of black people being inherently violent based off them trying to gain their freedom. And that further cemented like our white suppressors and the white majority's ideas of black and the need to control us and to enslave us. But in any event, that second premise, yes, it's true that a lot of people were mentally enslaved, but I think it's wrong to then deduce that slavery was a choice. Obviously, from its origin, we know that it wasn't a choice. People weren't happily lining up, fouling up to jump on ships and be a part of the transatlantic slave trade and come here to America. They were brought over here not under their own volition. So we know that. And then even throughout the history of slavery, we know that people did not happily choose to be slaves. So, and I could talk more on it, but I want to give everybody an opportunity to talk. But
hold on 1 second. He has to come in. He got to understand. He got to come into the doggone decline. Y'all still on? You gotta. I've sent you an invite, bro.
Conclusion that
Let me send him an invite again so he knows.
And Dave just disappeared.
What? All right. Well, shit. While he disappeared, man, you go ahead. You speak your piece.
No, I want him to come back before I say bye.
Let's see. Dave. Let me see if I get him back in here. At Gmail. Another invite. Send Rodney an invite. Big Rod Lou at Gmail. No, Big Rod Lou. Actually, it's not that. It's Big Rod Lou at Yahoo. That's what a fucking name. Oh shit. Big Rod Lou at Yahoo.
Big Rod ain't that big.
I know, right? That shit at.
Yeah, what made him think that? He was only big when we was kids, man.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, yeah. Rod. Hey, I sent you an invite. All right. Dave ain't come back yet. Rodney. Rodney. Save it. Rodney, save it. Rodney's upset. Y'all got him pissed off. Fucking with Kanye. Rodney. Dave, you back?
No, he ain't back.
I don't see him.
Damn, I should try to blow him up.
Man, so I'll just tell you what while we're waiting on Mike, I'll tell you, man. So I went back because I'm a big Kanye fan, right? So, and I know I listen to the words that he says in his raps. And what I noticed was it seemed like he was living.
Have you sent out invites?
Yeah, man, I sent you an invite on BigRodLou at yahoo.com, right?
Oh, no, send it to my Gmail, rodney.a.lewis.jr@gmail.com or rodney.lewis@outlook.com.
Rodney.a.lewis. Rodney.a.
Come on, Alexei.
.junior.
Just do rodney.lewis. rodney.lewis@outlook.com. That's the easiest one to do.
All right.
David's on there too, man. He said he got disconnected.
Yeah, I gotta put him back out again. Hold up 1 second. All right, I just sent you.
Got that faulty.
All right, so you got to invite.
Canadian internet, it's all jacked up.
Yeah.
David, Starbucks again, huh?
What's up? He must be a Starbucks.
Hey, I'm looking for it now.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
I'll send it to the Big Rod Lou, Rodney.
Let me see if I can find it.
Rodney.
All right, man. See you over there.
All right. Oh.
Big Rod Lou.
Rodney Lewis at Outlook. Rodney.Lewis at Outlook.com.
Yeah.
All right, it's on his way.
And how many emails can one man have?
It's ridiculous.
There
All right, there you back.
I don't know what.
I got 7 emails, Mike.
I'm about to chop this joint up.
I'm important.
All right, Rodney.
Yeah, hey,
You got it?
Dave back there now.
Go ahead, Mike.
Dave done moved to the private office in Starbucks. So his Wi-Fi back on.
The manager's office.
Yeah, the manager office.
Hey man, you know they don't allow us to sit around in Starbucks.
Yeah, ain't it bad?
What is he doing? He's waiting for somebody.
He looks suspicious. He's just sitting there sipping coffee.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Right, you can't find it?
Not yet.
I'm gonna send it again. Rodney Lewis, right? Is it Rodney Lewis or just Rodney Lewis?
Rodney Lewis.
Man, the man don't even know his emails.
That looks like
Yeah. Hey, I know one email you need to cancel, man.
You got like 5 emails.
Yeah. He just opened up emails. Keep forgetting his passwords.
Says I'm not allowed to join this call. Okay, kiss my butt.
Why not?
It just said I'm not allowed.
Hey, use
Maybe
the
I click the wrong
seventh
thing.
email. You gotta use the 7th one.
You said what?
You gotta use the 7th email.
Yeah, man. That's the problem with having so many emails, man. They start thinking you're trying to hide something.
You not good, Rodney?
Not yet. Let me see.
All right, while he playing with that, then I'm just go ahead. I'm gonna say my piece. Mike want to save his piece for the group. So I was trying to get that dramatic, last person to speak position, but it's all good.
No, you can get it. You can get it. Because my piece is gonna start an argument anyway. Nah, but at first when I first heard him, I was thinking like, you know what, he tweaking, And then after you listen to him, like if you listen to his rants, every one of them, they kind of make a little bit of sense when you listen to it over and over. Like the 400 years of slavery, that was a choice. I kind of I understand how you could see that, because if you look at that amount of time, in that amount of time, it was enough people that if you wanted out, y'all could have came up with a plan. But everybody, that goes back to how society is today. What we said before about people being content and being comfortable with uncomfortable circumstances,
Yeah.
So I think that's the angle that he was coming from. Now him wearing that stupid ass hat and standing with Donald Slump, I don't know, but it's the slavery statement. I could see why he would say that, and it kind of it makes sense if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Anything you go through so long, man, people will figure out a way,
Bro, so he had mentioned this comment about his daughter. He said, in the TMZ interview that his daughter came home from school. She was like, guess what I learned in school today? I learned I'm black and mommy's white, right? And he said, well, damn, I'm glad somebody told me, right? And I can, when he said that, like it sunk in because, coming up as a kid, 5 years old, I have a memory that sticks in my head. And I was in the speech therapist office in kindergarten. I was 5 years old. It was Martin Luther King's birthday. And she was telling me, my speech therapist was telling me that Martin Luther King was killed by white racists. And this was a white lady telling me that. And I remember asking, well, why did they do that? Because they just don't like black people. And I just kept, why? I don't understand why. And I remember from that moment on, there was a weight on my shoulders trying to figure out, why black people were oppressed, right? So from the age of 5, and I didn't get that from my parents. So I'm not saying like black culture, if you just get in the culture, you just go on the barbecue, you just know your grandmother, your cousins, your family, you may not see it. But once you're introduced into the white world, they're going to remind you that you're oppressed, right? That's not the oppression that we're really carrying ourselves. Well, yeah, we do carry it ourselves, but it's created as a mirage and given to us. So then I went back and I listened to, you got to listen to New Slaves. It's on the Yeezus album.
Yeah.
And When I turned that on, I'm like, I know exactly what this Negro is doing. So everything that he's talking about right now, I'm noticing it has a corresponding song on one of his previous albums. I think all of this, everything he's saying, I'm thinking it's a run up to the release of his album, and I don't blame him for doing it because this would be the first time. Like it's just one album that was out. It was a rock album, but it was an album that if you played the Wizard of Oz, if you played the music over the Wizard of Oz, it corresponded to the Wizard of Oz perfectly, right? So they made this album, and they made it. People didn't know this at first, but like a year later, they found out if you played it and watched Wizard of Oz at the same time, you could smoke a joint. And when something exciting was happening on the Wizard of Oz, something exciting would be happening in the album. My thought is, what I think he's doing is taking songs he already wrote and living over the songs. I'm noticing all this stuff he had mentioned in the song before, but maybe it was a song I really kind of breezed over. Like, I wasn't really a big New Slaves fan, but that New Slaves corresponds to the argument he had about the 400 years of slavery. All he's really saying is, because this line in the song, it says, you got poor nigga racism. It's don't come in the store. Rich nigga racism. Oh, please come in. Please buy more. What you want? Fur coats, a car, diamond rings. All you blacks want all the same things. The new slaves. So saying we're enslaved by brand names. We're enslaved by, having to have, and by debt, by having to have the latest things, by trying to keep up with what they want. He also put out in his last interview he did with Charlemagne, he stopped wearing labels. So now he's making his own clothes. He's like, yeah, I look like a monk, whatever else, but he said, I'm not gonna get the labels and the collar. So it's like, I think when people say he's tweaking, but I'm thinking he's a smart rapper. Not a rapper, he's a smart person. He's an artist. You know what I mean? He hits on a lot of different angles. So I don't look at it as he was really making any slight towards slavery itself. And that's the thing for me, like being more on the right than I really am on the left. I'm not gonna call myself a Republican, but let's just say I have more of a conservative bent. I think what happens sometimes is, do this. Go to the internet, type in Kanye West, hit the news link on Google, and tell me how many positive links you see. And I'm gonna tell you, 99.9% of all the links you're gonna see are negative. So when you look at that, that's telling you that the only way to really upset the media, you can't upset the media by saying anything about, how slavery is. I'm gonna hold on one second. I gotta hang up on my phone.
I gotta hang this up.
What's up, Lil Rod?
That's a joke.
But I'm gonna let Rodney talk. So I've been talking for a minute, but you're not gonna upset the media by saying anything on what the liberal bend, right? The only way you're really gonna turn the media on its head is you have to introduce some new beliefs, some new thoughts, and that's what's exciting. That's why it's like I feel like the new Kanye album is already out.
Yeah. Man, I got to get a piece of paper. I got to write. Man, I got so much stuff I want to say.
All right.
Go ahead, Rodney.
Crazy.
Come on, little dude. Cut it out, man. Just because you're wearing a green shirt with no sleeves don't make you look like the Hulk, man.
First, let me tell you one thing, man. I got a lot of emails from an important person. People want to get in touch with me on different avenues. It can't be the same. I got like layers to this game. You understand that? Layers.
You gotta remember all your passwords, man.
I got them all. You know what? The problem was I was clicking the wrong thing. I was clicking to join the call. You gotta click the invite that shows up on the top of the Hangout thing. So that was my fault. I messed it up.
Oh, figures.
What we
so
talking
it had nothing to do with the 12 emails.
No, it did not. But what we're talking about here is the 48 Laws of Power. Y'all ever read that book?
Yeah, by Robert Greene.
Yes.
Yes.
Kanye has what? He's got a reputation. He knows how to play with the media Just like Donald Trump, that's what Donald Trump does. Plays with the media and does that what do you call it? That
dragon energy,
manipulation, all that crap. Man, he comes out, he says some provocative things, and people react. And when they react, what do? They talk about it. They tweet about it. They oh, I'm mad. I heard people even put a hit out on Kanye West because of some of the things he's saying. Now, what he's saying, it can be offensive, but he's making sense if you take the time to listen. But first of all, I told David earlier, what he's saying, there's no real nice way to say it. There's no real nice way to say, okay, the 400 years of slavery was a choice. I mean, truthfully, it's always a choice. No matter what you do, it's always. There was people that jumped off the boat that said, you know what, I'd rather drown than go with these people and be a slave. That's a choice. Nat Turner, he made a choice. He wasn't gonna be no slave no more. So there was always a choice. He's not saying anything that's wrong and anything that's just, but he's saying it and people don't want to hear it. It's gonna shock them. They're gonna listen. And the good thing is with his music, he'll turn it into his music in some way. Drop this 7-song album, and it's gonna sound good, and people will start bumping their heads to it. Damn, 400 years of slavery was a choice. Yeah, choice. Be rapping it. I'm telling you, man, he is setting himself up. I think he really is, like Antoine says with the album, but I think he's setting himself up to be to run for president. Like all this craziness that goes around thing. If Donald Trump can do half the crap that he's done and become president, Kanye West might be the one as a black man to do some crazy.
You can't do that, man. You can't do that, Rod.
It's funny because
no, man.
I don't know, man.
It says the only book I ever read was 48 Laws of Power. Who remembers that? I don't know what song it was.
He already said in 4 years ago he's gonna run for president. He said, I'm running for president in 2020. He sounded ridiculous. People laughed. They're like, he's not gonna do that. Watch what happens.
Man, he ain't gonna make it, bro.
But hey, he's best friends with the president.
You're not gonna make it, man. See, the thing about it, you know, the only other black person right now that got a chance at running for president and winning is Oprah, man. She the only one.
I don't know. Maybe Obama, Miss Obama. She might get that.
I don't even think Michelle could do it. I think Oprah, because her fan base is so large and broad. And that little statement that she made when she got that award, you know, women, it's our time to be in power. Mm-hmm. That's a presidential statement, man. And she got the white women that'll back her up and roll with her. And everybody know that, you know, there's more women out there, votes that matter, you know, because there's more, you know, women and faggots. That's what it is.
Okay, so you just made a good point.
So many of those. I don't think there's as many as those we make it out to be. That's a media myth.
Let me ask you.
There's a lot of faggots, man, and that's how Obama won the second term, through the faggots.
Well, let me ask you.
As soon as he said same-sex marriage is okay with me, they're like, man, Obama for president.
There might be more. But there's not that many gay people in the world. First of all,
yes, it is.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna pose a question to the group. Why is it slavery, right? Just like you say, you can't rap about Jesus. Slavery, conservatism has the whole world turned on their fucking ear right now. When we talk about faggotry, they're like, okay, I mean, you gotta let it. We talk about goddamn murder. I'm like, hey man, you know, that's what happens in the hood. We talk about drug dealing. Oh, that's just keeping it real. We talk about anything that's like fucking just the bottom is bad. We don't want to talk about that. Talk about conservatism. Just talk about the Confederate flag. Realize all these things I'm mentioning, I don't care if it's a damn Ku Klux Klan hat, whatever else, it's an icon. Just a fucking picture. The word nigga, we say it all the time. We have all these debates over the word nigga. Oh, we'll just take the power back from that. You know, I'm using it because I'm using it as a term of endearment. Oh, but when it comes to a red hat, too fresh, that's too new. We pick and we choose what we want to be upset over. And all I'm saying, I'm not saying faggotry is bad. I'm not saying that goddamn the word nigga is bad. I'm not saying people can't deal drugs. I'm not saying people can't fucking murder. Whatever. We can talk about it all. and keep our heads.
But see, the thing about it is, let's go back to the 48 laws. The 48 laws says something that I always know to be the truth. Once you tap into somebody's emotions, you got them
You
hooked,
know, yeah.
whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? And each one of those topics have the ability to tap into somebody's emotions. So it's just the faggot. Yeah, that would be an offensive conversation to a faggot. You know what I mean? Me saying that word faggot, they'll say I'm not a faggot. I'm gay. But I'm like, nigga, if you gay, you're a faggot. It's the same shit. But somebody would get angry and take offense to that.
Yeah, man, you a dinosaur.
Yeah.
They don't say it no more.
So it's kind of just like, man, whatever subject is the most thrilling to get into people's emotions. The reason the slavery thing caught so much fire is because you got so many black people that are upset about slavery that taps into their emotions because their ancestors were slaves.
Yeah.
And then you got so many white people that want to try to prove that they're not racist. So they're going to tap into that emotion and say they're not responsible for their grandparents' actions and shit. So when you pick one of those teeter-tot subjects that's going to tap into black hard and tap into white hard, you got commotion. You know what I mean? So the conservatism is the same thing. You know, Republican, Democrat is the same thing. You got one group of people that's rich saying, I don't want to have to give that much of my money up. Then you got people that's poor saying, give me more money. You know, money has a ability to control people's livelihoods. So that's an emotional tie. Everything with an emotional tie to it is going to be controversy. And controversy is what gains the popularity and everything else that come along with it, whether it be positive or negative, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, when it comes to slavery, kind of speaking on that, it's still a sensitive issue in the black community because we're still feeling the repercussions of it, the reverberations of it. Unfortunately, you know, being enslaved for that long of a period of time, it has a psychological impact, and we're still feeling those perpetual effects, and we're trying to break free from it. Like, we're still under the oppressive thumb of, to be honest, of the white majority, because there's white supremacy or white privilege. Now, is it a bad thing that they're trying to, you know, continue to maintain that white privilege, and they're not trying to create equality across the board, no matter, you know, what color your skin is, what ethnic background you're coming from? No, I don't know. If black people were the majority, would we like give up our black privilege? You know, so I think it's a sensitive issue because
how do you get around white privilege? You tell me there's no way to get around white privilege?
No, I'm not saying that. I think the way to get around white privilege is from building within our community. I don't think we have to, you know, fall subject to white privilege. We can create our own wealth. We can create our own riches. We can do those things. We don't have to. But the fact of the matter is, you know, white privilege exists, and it impacts us, and it has an effect on us. So.
Okay.
But yeah, slavery is still a sensitive issue because I think we haven't fully gotten over it. You know,
David, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna warn you. That's why I don't believe in white privilege.
I'm not saying. Look, I'm not saying they might have.
That's because he light skinned.
Whatever else, man. Like, racism is real. Racism is real. I don't want anybody to think that racism doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Racism exists at the higher levels. Racism exists at the bottom level. But so do the Bloods and Crips. They exist. Racism exists in a lot of black people's hearts, in the same way it exists in a lot of white people's hearts, right? Like, hate is hate and love is love. Now, and then people make it. You a doctor. You a doctor. I'm not saying you don't deal with racism.
Yeah.
I'm saying
but you can't take. You got to look at the collective, though. You can't take individual incidents of. Like,
you got to look at the collective of white people. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you're gonna look at the collective,
white people own over 90% of our country's wealth. They control our economy. They have all of the power, and they don't allow for us as blacks to crack into that. Like, we think about it. We
You're
were
a doctor.
enslaved.
Hold up, stop. You just said we don't allow us to break into you. You're a doctor.
Let me finish this statement. We were enslaved. We were human capital. We helped build this country. We never received reparations, and we never will. Okay, we can deal with that. That's the fact of the matter, right? But still, to this day, there's policies in place. There's things in place that prevents us from tapping into this country's wealth. We don't own anything. All we do is work a 9 to 5. I mean, there is a small percentage of our community that has some ownership, that has some tangible wealth. But most of us, we just have, money. You just have paper money. We don't own anything. We're just numbers in this capitalistic system. And that's the issue. So it's like, how do we break into that? And I think honestly that they're continuing to keep their thumb on us from an economic standpoint in that regards. When you look at it,
now that's a good point. You just said they're keeping their thumbs on us from an economic standpoint. So what do you do about that? And the only ones talking about doing anything about that are the conservatives. I don't think. Look.
They're not talking about doing it for us, Antoine. They're talking about doing it for themselves. The black mamba. The black mamba is the most deadliest snake, and they bite. And a white tiger is deadly, and it got stripes. That's black.
Democrats do have a way of sprinkling more money into the black community, right? Democrats historically they found ways to sprinkle money into the black community. How has that helped us? Has that helped us to build any wealth, or has it helped us to maybe make ends meet for a little bit longer? Maybe we can go get a new pair of shoes, maybe get buy some things for the kids, whatever, and then that money's gone. Like what the Republicans are doing, they're setting up systems where anybody who can open a business and start a business, which it really don't take much to start a business. Anybody who can figure out how to do it, just get it done, they can make more and keep more, and decide how they're going to spend that money for the people, their employees, or if they decide to donate some. Like they free up some of this taxation and allow the person who's making the money, who's more productive, to go out and decide, okay, I'm going to build my wealth. I'm going to help my employees. I'm going to get and they're making more rules now that you got to take better care of your employees and stuff like that too. But it's just a little bit different. I get where you guys. A lot of black people, we say, okay, Democrats are for us. They give us more money. That's a conversation. It's a handout, and the handout is not teaching you how to fish.
All right, so that's a conversation for another day. So I want to bring you guys back, because really, I don't want to get into the whole, this is the left's plan, this is the right plan. All I want you guys to say is, or not say, all I want you guys to know is that there's nothing, no idea that cannot be discussed. And we have to somehow take all the emotion, because the emotion is what black people, that's how we breathe, man. I have big observations I've seen from just studying black people, just watching black people, how we react to things.
It's our blood pressure, man.
And one,
hey man, every day all people are emotional though.
Yeah, but
yeah,
black people are really emotional.
That's how Trump got into office.
No, black people are dramatical. Okay. Everybody's emotional. Black people are more dramatical.
There you go.
Just like all those faces you was making a little while ago when you couldn't wait to speak. That's because David tapped into your emotions and you got dramatical. Right. See, if you was a white man, you would have just sat there with the same poker face and waited your turn.
So, hey,
black people are emotional, but we got high blood pressure, so we got to be careful with our emotions. Otherwise, we're gonna have a stroke.
Let's talk about
people, and we get older.
Let's talk about this word right here, man. Cognitive dissonance. Right? Cognitive dissonance is basically when you take two ideas, because we all have certain beliefs, and then we have other beliefs. Yeah. And in our head, we don't know how to rectify those two beliefs. So they just sit there next to each other, and you come out with some way to rectify. It'd be some bullshit way, but you just make those two beliefs sit side by side and make them be okay. And the reason we do that is because, well, we hate confusion. And that's everybody. Every color person hates confusion. They hate to be confused. As a matter of fact, that's the reason a lot of people don't succeed in math or whatever else, because
that's why I don't read.
Or read, right, because you have to sit there and figure shit out, and you won't get the shit right away. It may not come to you the first day or the second day. It may take a week, and then the thought comes. So like everything you gain takes time. And it's the same thing when it comes to cognitive dissonance. Oh, somebody brings you a new idea, and this new idea does not go with your narrative. So what do you want to do? The first thing we want to do is we want to revolt. We get upset. We get emotional. What I'll say is I was liberal. And when people started bringing me conservative ideas around the age of 32, I did the exact same thing that Dave is doing or Mike is doing or anybody would do. And that's, I would battle, right? But then after a while, if I can connect the dots, it's not so much about my intent. My intent has never changed. My intent is always love Black people, want to see Black people do the best. I love what Kanye is doing right now, just as much I love the movie Black Panther when that came out, right? I want to see Black people do right. But I just have a different way of getting at this. I don't want anybody to take what they think I'm thinking and say, well, he must think about this about Black people. That don't mean just the same way I wouldn't do that to you and say, okay, Dave has this idea. So obviously he thinks this about Black people or white people. He's racist, or he's this, or he's that. Because that's not true. You know, his intentions are his intentions. And what happens is I'm watching Breakfast Club. I'm watching Ebro. I hate that dude, whatever he is, that little pink mug. But he's telling you what Kanye's thinking. Oh, you see, he's lost his mind. He's doing this. He's doing that. You don't know what's on that brother's mind unless you really know him, right? And know his music. And obviously he don't.
But what is public perception, bro? I mean, like, you know, when you speak something and it's not really accepted by most people or most people can't interpret it, then you leave yourself open to their interpretation.
Public perception.
You know, it's kind of like impressions. First impression.
But you see what they're doing, though? They're putting the mic in front of him and say, what do you mean? So they're giving him a chance to come back and say he's been tweeting about trying to explain what it is, and people go back and look at that and try and learn, like, okay, oh, this is what he's saying. So I mean, it gives them the shock, but it also makes them listen. It makes them feel.
You know, the thing I think Kanye just does a poor job of articulating his ideas and his message sometimes. Like I think the message he was trying to convey is, hey, we don't need to be mentally imprisoned anymore. We need to free ourselves. Like, don't think within a box. You can think outside the box. You can be abstract. You know, that's fine. You don't have to fit with the status quo. But his delivery was just, it was off target.
That's because it has to rhyme.
He's an artist. He is an artist.
It's like, and then sometimes it's difficult to follow him. You know, so I think if he could communicate his message a little bit better, that it would be more accepted. But in all, I think controversy is good. You know, because it conjures up good conversation, different ideas, different perspectives, and that's how you grow. You know, grow as individuals. Like, yeah, most of my ideas may fit with liberalism, but I have some conservative viewpoints as well. You know, I feel
you're
like
a Christian,
I'm moderate somewhere in between. You know, and well, that's another conversation. But I mean, I don't want to get into that right now. I mean, I am a Christian, but we can go deep into that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of controversy.
Man, yeah, that's the point that a lot of Black people don't realize that the conservatives have the more Christian beliefs than the liberals. Liberals will tell you everything's okay, be free, yeah. But conservatives will be like, no, the Bible says this. So he's probably trying to stick around this area right here.
Yeah. But all right, let me just ask you this, Mike. When it comes to free thought or going against the grain, do you think there's anything wrong with that?
So you're gonna direct that question to me?
You go against the grain every day.
Hey, I don't take offense to it. I don't. Nah, for real. No, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that everybody has that right to go against the grain, and I enjoy doing that because I don't like being the majority. I like being the underdog. I like being that abstract thinker, you know, the one that thinks outside of what the realm of what majority people are thinking, you know. I enjoy that because I feel like nobody should be able to put restrictions on, you know, on my train of thought, you know. And I don't like going with the majority just because they're the majority. If I go with the majority, that means that something that they doing or said made sense to me, you know, and I agree. But I don't just roll. Some people just roll with the majority just because it's more. You know, I think less is more sometimes, most of the time, you know.
It's a book called Less is More.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it. Have y'all ever read The Art of Seduction?
Yeah.
I've read that book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good read.
I'm not about to say you read a couple of psychology books too.
You put some serious out there.
I'll tell you, it's another book called You Are Not So Smart. I'm trying to think who wrote that book, man. Have you read that?
I was just thinking about smart stuff. I was thinking about the rest of the world.
It just goes through like all the common fallacies that people believe in and why things that we think we know. So even like, I think you have the conservatives, they'll take you and they'll have some packaged ideas and say, okay, this is what.
What was that?
This is.
Yeah, that was a porno magazine.
No, this is a coffee table book.
Okay.
Talk. That didn't look too appropriate. Hey, you don't have to. You know, hey, look, man. What you do in your private time, while you in that home, big old house by yourself, that's totally okay, man. It's up to you. That's your business, brother.
That's on his coffee table.
Yeah. Yeah, he peeked at that joint quite frequently. I thought you was losing weight over there.
I'm gonna tell y'all, as I get older, and it might happen to y'all too when y'all get around your 40s, I have a lower and lower opinion of the intelligence level of the populace. Like you want to think everybody's thinking at your level, thinking about smart things, and everybody knows things, like basic common things. They really don't. And it's a lot more that don't know than you realize. Like you might think, man, everybody knows this. And then you run into like 10 people in the row that just had no clue because they never looked for it. They hear what they hear on TV and they react to that. And that's how they live their life. You know, hey, TV said this. Okay, this is what it is. They was living off of Jerry Springer. You know, that's how they learned everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like that out there.
I'm just wondering how it took for you to be damn near 50 to come up with that.
I put faith in the American people. I thought they were smart.
Damn. It took you 50 years to come up with that one? Oh, damn. So, rattlesnakes bite and they poisonous.
And white tigers is dangerous.
The white tigers is dangerous because they got black stripes.
So, and then, all right, let's talk Michael Jordan, Kanye West. What I noticed, like a lot of people hate on them just because they got white wives.
Man, right? It's not that. Fuck Michael Jordan
a white girl.
And fuck Kanye. and this is, you know, when I say fuck them, this is the reason why. Not because they probably bad people. I don't know them jerks. They might be good jerks. You know, I don't know them. Yeah. But I just say fuck them because, like, especially Kanye, man. Kanye was raised in Chicago. He lived in Riverdale and he lived on Cottage Grove. Yeah. He probably bounced around before that, you know what I mean? But I'm just like, man, if just me personally, like if I hit the lottery and I got 200 million or something, man, I'm gonna take one of them vacant lots in Inglewood, one of them vacant lots in Auburn, Gresham, and I'm gonna put something there, you know, and give the kids something positive to do, you know? Yeah. Like I just don't get how you could be this liberal and I mean this open with your thought process, but you fucking tucked away in Beverly Hills with a family full of whores.
He did
You know,
though.
that's huh?
He made.
But just cause you like you take Drake make a video about his shit. I thought that was so corny. Like if you're gonna give away $1 million, give away $1 million. If you're gonna do business, do business. So Kanye's done
Yeah.
a couple charities in Chicago.
But if I'm gonna give away $1 million, I wouldn't have no problem doing it that way, because at the same time you giving it away, and at the same time you building your fan base because you letting more people know about the generous heart that you got.
Yeah.
You know, that's just like Chance the Rapper. He's low key, quiet, you know, independent artist. But as soon as he got rich, he gave $1 million to Chicago public schools. You know what I mean? And once he did it, then Derrick Rose did it. Then Common did it. You know what I mean? And he started that trend that made it cool for people that got all that money to help out their community and their school system, man.
And bro,
but Kanye ain't give shit. And he still ain't give shit.
I got two rebuttals. One, I think he did actually give some money.
Oh, whoa. You just said you think.
Well, I can pull up the thing, but he was talking about anyway. You said two things.
Let me see.
One, $1 million in the grand scheme of things. Fuck it, it's not shit, man.
All right, give me $1 million.
It's gonna take more than $3 million. It's gonna take more than $100 million.
Hey, well, $1 million ain't shit, man. Give me 50,000, man. How about that?
Bill Gates can't fix it. You know, it takes. It's not
what
about giving. It's really not about giving, bro. It's about mindset. He's giving something that is more important than. I'm gonna tell you. And it's not just hold on 1 second. It's not just Kanye. I can name about 10 other people, conservative, who have the blueprint. Bob Johnson of BET, right? Have the blueprint and they want to give it to black people. But black people are too upset to hear it because it goes against, it rubs their hair backwards, right? So it's not really, it's about, man, I can give you something so you can get your dreams out. Think about his music label. He's telling you right there, getting out our dreams. Ain't got nothing to do with money. Not saying he hasn't given money.
He gave to 20 different charities. And they're listed on this one website: Robin Hood, Save the Children, Stand Up to Cancer, Art of Elysium, Oxfam, Make It Right, Mission Australia. So he didn't do anything specifically for Chicago that I see here, but he is giving.
That's the thing that pisses me off even more, because motherfucker, you from Chicago. That's where Bill Gates pissed me off too. But he's white, so I don't care. But it's like, dog, you building all these schools in Africa and all these other countries. Fix the shit that's right here where you at first. You know what I mean? He got all of this bogus ass shit going on with the school systems and all that. If you paid these teachers more money, they'll put more of their effort into it. And that's how you can change the mindset, because you're going to teach the kids a different route in the beginning. But all this shit in Africa, the people that he building them fucking schools for in Africa is never going to fucking leave their hut in Africa. They're just going to be smart as fuck sitting in those little huts.
Actually, they come to the U.S. and work here, number one, because they work with me. A lot of them work with me. Number two, the more money you make when you get up to those millions and billionaires, the bigger the world is to you. So you're not just from Chicago, you're from Earth after a certain point. Bill Gates is from Earth. Anywhere on this planet he can touch. He can get there, spend time there, probably has a house there. Like, so.
But why have you ever heard the term where they say, clean up your own backyard before you peek over your neighbor's fence? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's the same thing.
The more money you have, the bigger your backyard is.
And I think you all are talking about two concepts here: individualism and collectivism. And I think the black community has to choose one of these ways. Collectivism says, hey, yeah, when you make it in your respective field, you build you generate or engender some revenue, you build up some wealth. Well, it's time for you to go back to your community to give back fiscally, to give back, you know, from an educational standpoint, all the things that you learned, to give the keys to success to your people. That's what collectivism says. And that's what a lot of different ethnicities and subcultures within America practice, right? And then individualism is this concept or this idea of the American dream, right? You know, you work hard, even though, again, you work hard, you get a job, you make a decent living, you have that house with the white picket fence, you have your family, and you're doing well, and that's it. And that's it. So personally, I think in order for the Black community to thrive here in America, to be a winner in the game of capitalism, we have to practice collectivism. Every other culture is doing it. You can look at all other different minorities. They're doing it. So I kind of agree with Mike. I think that we do. The onus is on us to go back to our respective communities and to give back. Yes, you could touch other
but as we do that, though,
that's great and everything. But when does it become bigger than just you? You know?
I agree. I agree to a certain extent. But one thing we have going against that is the fact that even with the collectivism and the individualism, we got individualism in our collectivism. Like a dude will make money, and he'll be an Indian dude. He'll make money. He'll wear some old beat up jeans, some sandals, and he'll just have the money in his pocket, and he's going to build his wealth and help his community. Black people, we get some money in our pocket. We got some fly ass J's. We got some fly ass, gold on. That's where the money's going. So we can't just say, okay, now we go. We can't just say, we take all the money and go back. Like, I got so much debt because as I started making more money, I was spending that shit. Because at the same time, you want to help community and everything too. But we also got to floss a little bit. We got to have a nice job. We got to have a big TV.
You never made it to that level, bro. That's different. That's the comfort level. Like, if I make some money or something and I want to go and buy me and my kids a new pair of boots or shoes or whatever, I do that because that makes me feel good. Right. Now, that same $200 that I spend on a pair of boots for me and my kids, I can't do shit for the community with that.
Wait a minute, though. I live in a community up here. There's a place called Irving, right? And it's a large Indian population, whereas Indian from actual India, not from American Indians. And these cats will go into a store, they will squeeze the hell out of $1 and get, they'll go in the Ross, shopping for Ross. My wife pointed out to me first, they shop for stuff Ross. Oh, this has a scratch on it. They'll sit there and argue them down for 50 cents. Off of this thing because it's got a scratch on it to try and get as much as can. Like, they pinch them dollars and watch them dollars, even though they have a family and stuff like that too. Like, their mentality is just a little bit different.
Rodney, who's your favorite rapper?
I think that's a good point too. Like, we do need to fix that, but
yeah. My favorite rapper?
Yeah.
So wear Pro Wings then. How about that? Just wear this wear Pro Wings. Go to Kmart and get you some Wranglers. Some regular Route 66 jeans and get you a pack of t-shirts and be cool there with your uncool dressing ass.
I can't do that because I'm black, dude. People look at me crazy. I'm a black dude. I gotta be honest.
But you know what happened, man? You'll fucking do that shit and you'll still be broke. And your feet are hurt because you got on cheap shoes. And your jeans, you'll wash them one time and they'll fucking fall up. The buttons will be popping off them shits.
Hey, let me get y'all back for a second, man. So
hold on, Twan. You always try to drive the motherfucking car on the lane and side of the street that you want to drive it on. We talking about spending money on clothes with your high fashion ass. That's why you don't want to talk about it. Cause I don't never see you dressing with some Pro Wings on. You stay fresh to death with the most expensive low-key shit on. So that's why you don't want to talk about it. You want to talk about some other shit.
Hey,
that's what he was talking about when he was talking about slavery, right? He said it. Now we buying our own chains, right? We're buying jewelry, we're buying nice clothes, whatever else. And yeah, I think we all do that, right? Because we like to be fresh.
J. Cole. I think J. Cole's my favorite rapper.
Okay. Dave, who's your favorite rapper?
My favorite rapper? Shit, that's tough. That's tough, man.
Michael's my favorite rapper.
Mike's my favorite rapper.
Yeah, there we go. I was waiting.
I ain't hear enough of your material yet to make that up.
That's a good excuse, David.
Hey man, you know it's tough. I got a couple of rappers that I like. I don't know if I have one that's my I like conscious rap. I like rap that has some substance to it. You know, I like something to groove to every now and then, but I really like it when
Okay,
artists is talking
on your playlist, who is more repeated on your playlist than any other rapper? What's the most repeated rapper on your playlist?
Hey, I would have
The
to
Roots.
check that boy.
The Roots. Dave play the Roots.
Hey, yeah, let's go with the Roots. Let's go with the
The Roots. Okay, Mike, who's your favorite rapper? Who's the most?
All right, so I got two. Well, I got like different answers, right? Because like I like listening to Young Dolph, you know, but I also like Gucci Man. But out of my all-time favorite, it would be Pac. You know,
Okay,
I would say Pac. But like in my playlist,
the early Pac or the later Pac?
all of it, because I feel like he was giving the same message from the beginning to the end.
Okay.
If you listen to it, you know he giving the same message from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, my favorite rapper is the aforementioned Kanye West. But I'll put it like this: if he ever split from what he has put out, like I said, I think it's crazy that people are actually surprised because Kanye has always been Kanye since 2002 or 2003 when he dropped Through the Wire, right?
Yeah.
And so he hasn't changed. I think
whoa, Kanye hasn't changed.
He has not changed, man. Like he's always going against the grain. And even his conversation, if you listen to what he was conversating about, let's say at the end of his very first album, when he went on that long, like 15-minute rap about, you know, how he came to New York and started rapping and everything else. That's the exact same swag.
Hey, man, if you the same person over 10 to 15 years, something wrong.
I'm saying he's been dropping dimes for a long time. But all right.
No, Kanye has definitely changed, bro. He's not the same rapper that he was when he first came out.
All right.
He's just not, you know, because he's on a different plateau. I think the money fucked his head up. And because, you know, he called himself a god, Twan. Now,
have you ever
in a literal sense?
Have you ever liked Kanye West?
No, but I'm just saying, in a literal sense, he called himself a god. Hey, you know what he told Snoop? Did you hear what he told Snoop? Snoop, I am a god, Snoop.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? You're a Crip from LBC. Me and Donald Trump will build a wall around LBC and you won't be allowed to get out. That's what he told Snoop.
He said that?
You ain't look it up. Google it. What Kanye said to Snoop. But I think Kanye. I think that fucking money got to his head to the point where, you know, even though he can do whatever he want to do, he feels like he's a god for real. You know.
Yeah, you are a god, man. I'm a god too, and you're a god. We all gods.
We're not talking 5% of shit.
No, I'm talking all that. It's in the Bible.
We're not talking about that, the unconscious 85% and all that.
Hey, we all got God's breath in our lungs. We all got God's breath in our lungs. He blew it in Adam, and Adam gave it to all the rest of us. So we got God's breath.
But y'all want to have a discussion about God?
Jesus said that.
Ye are gods.
He said, yes, I'm a god. He said, what would it be better if I was a nigga? He said, would that patina go better on my skin? He said, I'm a god. So when he said that, you got to take it in context. And he wrote a song about it, right?
That's fair.
So I don't think he was saying that he was God. He said, I am a god.
No, he said, listen to his interview on what he said with his message to Snoop Dogg, man. You know, I know that's your favorite rapper, Twan. He can't say shit wrong, but but he definitely says some shit that I don't agree with, man.
I think the point Mike is stressing is the fact that the money has caused him, and he was already an arrogant person at baseline, but this money has caused his ego to go to a whole nother level. I think that's the point he's trying to express. And with that egoism, his egocentric type personality is very similar to Trump. That's why they get along so well.
Yeah, and
it's causing him to act out differently. And and honestly, sometimes I do think he tends to forget where he came from.
Tends to. He is totally forgotten.
No,
the only time he uses Chicago.
When was he ever accepted in Chicago? Niggas hated on him in Chicago from the jump.
Bro, that's the culture here. That's the culture here. If you in the rap, if you in the music game here in Chicago, bro, it's a crab barrel mentality. Regardless of your position, whether you're a producer, whether you're an artist, whether you're a promoter, it's a crab barrel mentality if you're in the music industry. And everybody in Chicago that fuck with music even a little bit, they know that. So I don't think that would be a real excuse to say, oh, well, that's why I forgot where I come from, because nobody didn't like me anyway before I got on. Nah, because you was just a regular cornball before you got on. You wasn't nothing spectacular about him before he got rich. No, he was good though. But he was just a regular ass dude. It wasn't nothing special about him. His mentality now, bro, is changing due to the money that he reached, that he got, and those fucking Kardashians, man. Because he talks just like one of them. They always say off the wall, retarded shit. And that's just what he's doing. He's got the Kardashian pussy syndrome.
Yeah. And you know what else I think he's trying to do? He's trying to, because he's been trying to crack into like artistry in the clothing area and reach heights of the Medicis and like on higher levels. And I think this is also a ploy to try and get access to that high level of production when it comes to clothing and things of that nature. And,
well, he's gotta make shit that people like. Would you wear any of that raggedy ass zombie looking shit? Twan, you a fashion nigga, man. Would you wear any of that zombie ass shit that Kanye put out?
How you gonna tell me the damn Yeezys or NMDs? So let's say like Adidas, right? Or Nike.
Let me see how yours look, Twan.
That's his design.
Let me see how yours look.
Any shoe that you see nowadays, that's the new style shoe with the tongue that's built into the structure of the shoe, that has that neoprene sole, that has the exaggerated back sole. That's Kanye.
Ooh, you see him breaking down that shoe?
That's Kanye.
The neoprene sole with the what kind of back end they got?
Exaggerated.
An exaggerated back end. That motherfucker did his homework before he bought them shits.
Also,
I wear the NMDs. I've had Yeezys before. I haven't had the official. I ain't bought no $3,000 pair. I had like the $300 pair. But irregardless,
it depends on your taste. Most of the stuff he put out, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's different, but it's ugly to me as well. But like, some people like it though. Like I know
it's ugly right now, but the thing is, that's what 50% of the shoes. You go into a Foot Locker right now, 50% of the shoes are copying that style. They can be ugly.
Yeah.
Tight jeans might be, people may not like tight jeans, but it's in style now.
Yeah.
And he pretty much opened that shit up. Backpacks and polos, he opened that up. He was the first rapper that wasn't rapping about, and the thing is, it's about the same time I was getting frustrated there weren't any rappers coming out of Chicago, right? And New York, all the rappers coming out the East Coast or the West Coast. They would ignore Chicago, right? And then at the same time, all the rappers were talking about it was gangster. West Coast shooting weapons, at East Coast, this person dropping. So you had millions. You got a bunch of black people. You had millions of white people who didn't want to hear that shit no more. We just got tired of it, right? So here comes somebody who's gonna say, okay, you know what? He said this. It's a 2003 Source article. He said, I'm gonna come into the game. I'm making beats right now. I'm gonna rap about whatever I want to rap about. If I want to rap about Jesus, I'm gonna rap about Jesus. If I want to rap about politics, I'm gonna rap about politics. This is back in 2003. I'm reading this shit. I said, this kid is gonna be interesting. And he dropped through the wire. I said, this shit is hot. And he just wasn't rapping about any bullshit. He was rapping about everyday real nigga shit. Like the shit that I might go through when I go to work, whatever else, he's rapping about it. Or, fucking abroad, or
dropping out of college and all that.
And it was about, a lot of people just buying shit and
Hey, bro. Hey, Antoine. I'm about to go to bed, y'all. Just want to sign out, let y'all know.
Hold on, man. We ain't done yet. What you mean you about to go to bed, dog?
Dude, I got to work in the morning, and I'm gonna be gone tomorrow. So I'm gonna try and
Oh yeah, we coming in town tomorrow, Mike. Dave, you still down south, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Me and Rodney both be in town tomorrow.
Oh, you coming in too tomorrow, Rod?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going
little
to
fella, little Rod, little Rodney. hey, dog. You only was big to us when we was kids, man.
You got about a foot. You still show his grandma, ain't you? Ain't you about to his grandma?
Hey, I can't even laugh.
Hey, look, you don't look that big to me no more, though, dog.
Dude, I'm 250 pounds. I'm big. I'm bigger than I want to be.
You 250 and I'm 243. And that's just in my boxers, man. I'm 243, man. I got on the scale the other day. Yeah.
I'll talk to y'all later. I'll see you tomorrow out there.
All right,
yeah, man. We got to do something, man. You know, how long you going to be up here?
Just till Sunday. We're there for a funeral. My grandmother.
Yeah, we're going to do something.
But we still got to, we can still squeeze a little quality time in, cuz.
Yeah. I'm going to do some recording anyway. I got an idea of some stuff I want to record. Like, it might be kind of funny. So, yeah, we definitely got to do something.
Yeah, you let us know all about that when you get here, bro. I'm
gonna do a character of a black Trump supporter. It's like he goes back around his family. Everybody in the family is like, oh my, get that nigga out of here.
Yeah, we got to get Twan. Bring your hat.
Hey, that really fucked me up though. The entire time I was like, man, if I walk outside with this, I want you to think, because I know exactly what the man was feeling. I said, man, if I walk outside with this hat on, a lot of people disown me, and a lot of people gonna try to jump on me, right? And there's nothing, you couldn't wear any Hillary shit that was gonna get you beat up in the street. If you try to wear a Trump hat, you have people getting jumped on for wearing Trump hats for ideas.
You got that hat, Antoine?
Yeah, he got it.
Okay.
I can order the hat. I mean, what's wrong? What the fuck is wrong with the hat, man? Come on, somebody tell me.
You just put it on, and I'll tell you where to go with it.
There's nothing wrong with that hat. The thing is, if you buy that hat, you support Trump by giving him that money.
You want to have a picture of Jesus up in your house, a white Jesus? Go ahead and do it.
Ain't no white Jesus.
I'll see y'all later.
Man, Ronnie, go to bed, man.
Shit, you want to wear the Malcolm X hat? I like the Malcolm X hat too. You should be able to wear whatever the fuck you want to wear.
Bro, I'm not.
Wear whatever you want to wear. Just don't wear that stupid looking ass hat over here. Where we are the North hat. I like that. But don't wear no fucking Donald Trump make America great again, make America white again, / just make America back all white in my racist days. That's why that shit ain't accepted. Cause he's just an old ass, one of the good old boys. That's all Donald Trump is, man. One of the fucking good old boys.
You don't see that, Twan? You think that's the case?
That's his boss. He don't see that.
So I think the biggest thing that
not to cut you off.
Period. When you have the media, you have people's minds.
But that'll be like the biggest.
Outside the media, though, outside of liberalism, just thinking about.
What do you mean outside? How many hours a week do your kids watch TV? Let's be honest.
No, I mean like with you, like putting the media to the side, just thinking about what Trump has said, his actions, even the policies that he's proffered up. Like, what do you gather from all of that?
I gather that the media has taken everything this man has done and turned it on his ear.
No, skip the media. Skip the media.
Hold on. Dave. This is being recorded, Dave. He's not going to say anything about his fucking boss. Hey, he's not going to say anything bad about his boss, man. We'll ask you over the phone, Twan, or in person when nobody else is around, when we're not on a live broadcast. Because I understand, because it would be the biggest honor to you as a captain if fucking Donald J. Trump came and walked through your door and said, I salute you for the work that you putting in for this country, soldier, and he shook your hand, that'll be like the fucking best moment of your life. And I get it, because that's your boss. You got to roll with him. He's not going to say nothing bad about him, Dave. Go ahead, Twan. Finish telling us how you feel about Donald J.
So, the same way I feel about Trump. He's just a guy, right? He's a guy that happens to be in charge of the country or in charge to run the country, but he's a figurehead. He's not even really the real boss. But
I agree.
I will say this that makes him a little bit more interesting than Obama is he's a glitch in the matrix. He's gonna put his thoughts. And why
but did you just say he's not the one in charge?
If nothing, if he didn't do anything else, he ended the biggest conflict on earth. He doesn't get the Peace Prize for that. Obama was in office for like 6 months and they just gave him the Peace Prize for what?
Hey,
for
Twan, you honestly think Trump had you think he had majority to do with that decision?
He had everything to do with that. And President Moon said that. The president of South Korea said that. The president of South Korea said he should get the peace for it.
They gave him all the credit. People play into Trump's ego, and they placate him because they know that's how they get their way.
Damn, man.
You cannot deny that he was the only reason. He's the only reason North Korea came to the table. He's the only reason North Korea came to the table. If he didn't put pressure on China to close their border with North Korea, if he didn't pretty much let Kim Jong-un know, I'm just as crazy as you, and I will press this button, KJU would have kept playing the same old shit for I don't know how many years.
Trump wasn't gonna press no button.
Yes, he was.
It's all games, man. Like
it is. It might be, but he thought he was gonna press the button.
I don't even really thought he thought he was like a true existential threat, man. Like you said, there's powers beyond.
Man, somebody that's tried to call me and I can't hear nothing, man.
Oh, you can't hear us?
I don't know if I gotta leave out and come back in.
All right, man, come back, man.
All right, I'm about to leave and try to come back.
All right, for sure.
All right. Hey, Twan, so you don't think like you were saying, there's powers beyond the presidency, behind these prime ministers and things of that nature that really kind of control what's going on. I think there's like a small percentage of individuals in this world that really kind of have like control over what happens, even on a international level. I would like to think that Trump had a heavy influence on North and South Korea coming together, because I think that's a great thing for America to say that we were able to make that happen. But I'm pressed to think that that's not the case. I don't think.
Hold on, man. I'll be right back.
Donald Trump, they came together. All right.
I mean, I can easily say, okay, we can take each one of Trump's policies and we can break them down piece by piece, and we can argue them. You can talk about the travel ban. We can say, okay, well, the travel ban, including countries that didn't have a majority Muslim population, so you can break like everything. Because I think you meant, was that you? That might have been Anthony mentioned that earlier about the travel ban. Yeah. And if it's not that, what else did he say? He said he's a racist because of the comments he made about African countries. And to that, I'll say the countries he mentioned, Haiti, is in a bad shape. And it's like sometimes
I agree with that.
It's not what's being said, it's how you're saying it. Yeah. So I'll give anybody, hey, he is the most brash. He disappoints people with the way he's not presidential at all.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what it takes to really get any type of real change. And real change, you get real results. So when it comes to, let's say, Black unemployment, I got it. He's not solely responsible for the lowest Black unemployment of all time. Right. Yet we have the lowest Black unemployment of all time. And they tried to feed us that he was going to hurt Black people. So in real, what they should really be doing is saying, okay, it's getting worse for us, right? But it hasn't gotten any worse. So you would just think at some point people will look up and make a couple observations about their station, like their station in life, their personal station in life, and then take a look at the station of black people in life, black people in America, and say, okay, wow, things have gotten better. Crime actually is down. You know.
Yeah, but I don't think it's primarily due to Trump though. Like the economic impact that Obama had prior to him leaving office, like we're still kind of feeling the effects of that. Now, that's not to say that Trump being in office hasn't had a positive impact on our economy. You know, the tax plan that they passed benefits corporations, big businesses, and with that, there is the possibility of generating more wealth and more jobs. We've yet to see if that has really happened. I think it's going to take some time. It's because, you know, we've done this before. We've given huge tax breaks, and what ends up happening is these corporations pocket that money, and it doesn't trickle down to the workers. But it may be different this time. I tend to think that history sort of repeats itself. You know, when I think about the Reagan tax cuts during the Reagan era and what happened with that, even with Bush and the tax cuts and you know the cuts he made when it came to our housing, the housing department, and you know that leading to the collapse of our housing system. And like when I think about what's happened throughout our history when it comes to tax breaks, it doesn't give me like a lot of warm fuzzies to think that we're going to get a different outcome this go around. But you never know. You never know.
Yeah, I don't see that shit. I don't see no tax breaks. You know, I don't get no extra money every April and all that, or every March. You know, I think the system is fucked up right now, and I'm just trying to roll with it. You know, just ride the wave while it's here, and you know. Because it's just fucked up. Gas is going up, man.
Yeah. How about Cornel West?
Huh?
You heard of Cornel West? He made a book called Race Matters. He's a liberal guy. You guys fans of him?
I like Cornel West. Isn't he like a professor at Harvard? I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever read any of his books?
No, I haven't read any of his books. He has some good reads out there.
Well, some people think that makes them a fucking genius. I mean, well, technically it does. But
going to Harvard?
Yeah, I mean, just being a fucking professor at Harvard, your opinion don't fucking matter just because that's what you do. You know, you're the whole different league. You're the Ivy League. We're not even in the same league. So your shit probably won't make sense to me. I don't know.
You make a good point. So I used to read Cornel West, Michael Eric Dyson, and I'll read these thick ass books to be like a journey to nowhere. One, you have to understand what they're saying first, right? And they use a lot of big words. And I do that. I don't care how long it would take. I get the audio book, I get the Kindle, I get the hard cover book, and I would try to read these books and I highlight the shit I didn't understand. It was a lot. Now I did that. You know who actually got me on Cornel West was Cecilia's old husband. What's his name? Omari.
Oh, and he's a fucking real dingbat too.
So anyway,
hey, if he told me about a fucking newspaper, I wouldn't read that shit. Because this motherfucker is the definition of weirdo, man. He's just a fucking weirdo. In his own lane, he's a weirdo. He has a lot of retarded ass theories and shit that he thinks that don't make sense to nobody but his dumb ass. So that's why Cornel West, and I didn't even know that, Antoine, that he recommended that to you, and you fucking fell for that shit and started reading it. That's crazy, man.
So,
but I get it. The search for fucking, you know, literature is really rough, you know, because there's a lot of fucking bullshit out there. Yeah. So I get it, man.
Yeah. So
I just wouldn't read none of that shit.
No, I mean, if you hear Cornel West talk, he's a very good speaker. The book, I'm just saying, the book led to nowhere. The same thing with Michael Eric Dyson. I feel like his books really lead to nowhere. But
well, since we're on the topic of books, Twan, why don't you tell us about that book with them big ass titties on it. What the fuck is that about?
So the name of it's called the little big book of breasts.
Oh shit! Yeah.
It just goes through all the decades.
Hey,
was that volume 2?
He broke out his book of titties on us, man. Damn. Twan got a book of how nipples evolved.
Hey man, you know I try to read a book a day, man.
That's a good book to start with, huh? I bet that shit makes it pretty easy to read a book a day when you're reading about how nipples evolve and areolas and shit. Hey, Twan, open that motherfucker up. It's nothing but naked white bitches in there.
Black girls. So.
I wish Rodney was here to see this shit. Bring that book with you, man. Damn. Twan got the conservative porno joint.
Hey, there was 2 books too. Is that 2 volumes?
Yeah. Volume 1 and volume 2. Damn, Twan. This nigga read a book on titties.
Oh,
I done seen it up. So tell me what's interesting about those pictures, Twan.
It's a history portion, man. Like it's always gonna be something outside of just the breast. Sometimes you're looking at the breast and you get lost in that shit. But I try to read.
This shit is serious.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
He's studying titties, man, on the low.
No,
he didn't show that.
Titties. It's just about like it gives the history of the lady or whatever else. It's just, to me, it's funny because beauty has always been beauty. So even like back in like the early 20th century, men were pretty much looking at the exact same thing, man. They like thick women. It might change from decade to decade. One decade they like great big old titties, and the next decade maybe like a little bit more average size titties, and then the next decade they look like girls look like little boys, nothing but just some big ass nipples, and then they're like big titties, like going.
It's definitely evolved, Twan.
What's the practicality of this?
Titties. Hey, and you know what's so funny, man? Hey, Twan, you might not remember this shit, man, but when we was young, you used to jump on my case when I said titties. When I used to call them titties, you used to be like, they're not titties, they're called breasts.
Hey, times have changed. Huh?
Yeah. Hey, that's crazy. Twan got a volume 1 and 2 on titties, the evolution of titties. Damn. When boredom strikes.
So
did you order those online or did you get them out of bookstore?
Nah, I go to the bookstore, I see them on the shelf, and I don't pick them up, but I just snap the picture with my phone. One of them shit right here. That. Take the picture. Yeah. And go home and order that shit.
Cause see, those books would have been in the back section in Pick-a-Flick. Remember the little porno section in Pick-a-Flick? We used to sneak in there and look at all the titties and shit. Yeah, with them swinging doors like you walking in a saloon. Yeah, those.
Blockbusters too, I think. No, it was a movie. It was a movie movie take place in Riverdale. They had like that too. That's funny.
They had the little pictures of the naked titties and shit in the back.
Yeah. That
everybody used to sneak back there and look at.
Well, yeah.
Like, damn. So I had a flashback in this motherfucker. He's suddenly impressed with titties. The history of them. Where they came from, why women got the different shapes and shit. That's kind of cool. It's why you learned some knowledge on them, huh? The little sensitive spots and shit.
Tell them about themselves, man.
Hey, Twan, But to see, this is the tripped out part. Do you ever read that book and then go in the mirror and look at your shit? Do you ever do that though, man? Read the book on titties and go in the mirror and look at your old shit.
Look at the nipples.
Yeah, like damn, it do make sense.
Never wonder why do men have nipples in the first place?
Yeah, hey, that is crazy, man.
How can men have nipples?
Dang.
Yeah, like Gaylord Fokker said,
man.
you can milk anything with nipples. Gaylord, I got nipples. Can you milk me? Damn, that shit crazy.
Man, but
That's cool though, Twan, man. That's what's up, man. Hey, everybody's got to learn about them someday.
I look at it's just art, man. Like to me, women
Naked up.
in nature, like if you out in nature and you like watching trees and watching animals run around and shit like that and flowers grow, I look at women like that. Matter of fact, women in nature to me is like the most beautiful thing. So if you go camping with your old lady and just watch her move around in the woods or whatever, that's hot.
So what's coming out right now is your fantasies and shit. There's nothing wrong with that, Twan. So now we know when you and your wife go to y'all official wedding and y'all taking y'all trip, I'm gonna let her know you might want to bring a sleeping bag. Because this nigga's on some wild shit. You might want to bring your sleeping bag, babe.
Oh, man.
How y'all living, man?
That's cool though, Twan. You know, fantasies of women moving around in the woods. Fuck it. Man, ain't nothing wrong with that shit, man. You know? I'm sure there's other stranger things that people fantasize about. But that's just yeah.
Y'all good?
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Man.
I'm packing my shit up, man.
Hey, what time you getting up here tomorrow?
Probably like 9:00 tomorrow night.
You know where we should all go?
I know, but shit, so that day, tomorrow night, Friday night, yeah. Tomorrow night, I gotta get up early. I gotta get up at 8:30 to take Antoine, get his passport. Then from there, I'm going directly to the funeral. After the funeral conclude, we gotta get together. I know Rodney he was talking about taking some pictures somewhere, doing some type of shoot with his camera.
No, tomorrow is Thursday, tomorrow.
Well, all right. What happens on Thursdays?
Nothing. But I know we can go somewhere where you'll really like it. We should go to Hooters, Twan.
Oh shit. Yeah, well Hooters, I don't care. We can do that.
Hell yeah, man. Let's go to Hooters. Fuck it. Shit.
We gotta do the one out by my way though. From my parents' house. Whatever's close.
Wow.
So I get back, go to sleep. I got an 8:30 appointment downtown 101 West Congress.
Oh, Friday morning.
Yeah, I gotta get up really probably like 6 because I gotta get dressed, take him down there. We got the appointment downtown at 8:30. Gotta go all the way out to Maryville, be out in Maryville by 10 when the funeral.
Oh shit.
Damn.
He cut us off on the splat tip.
Hey, I think you might have got to him, man.
Yeah. Twa.
Hey, that shit was hilarious.
Mm.
Hey, I thought that book was about something else. I didn't know that shit was really about like
titties.
The fucking history of titties. That's some wild shit right there. Hey,
I didn't expect him to pull volume 2 out. Like, bam, I got this one. And damn.
No, you're laughing before you're laughing.
Hey, we're talking about volume 2, man.
Yeah, hey, no, we was talking about the element of surprise, man. Hey, I wish Rodney was on the call when you revealed that shit. When you started flipping through the pages, that shit would have been funny as hell, man. To see his response on that, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nah, but you talk about you got to get up early, nigga. You should be used to getting up early.
Yeah.
Captain, that shit should be natural. You should be up at 5 o'clock every morning, whether you work or not, drinking your coffee, nigga.
Yeah, that coffee help, man, but shit. You must
Or taking your
rest.
energy pills.
You must sleep.
Shit. Man, fuck sleep, man. Sleep is overrated, man.
No, we can't go to Hooters, man.
Can't go to Hooters.
Tease the eyes.
Oh, man. Well, I ain't going to the boat. I can tell you that now.
I ain't talking about. We go to Indiana, though.
What's in Indiana beside the boat?
Right there on the border.
The boat?
Nah, go down to the Heights.
Oh, Atlantis.
Yeah, go down to Atlanta.
We can go. We can do that.
390. Low Rodney Mine.
We can do that.
Yeah.
I ain't never been to see titties with Rodney.
Oh, y'all talking about it? Yeah, Atlantis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Rippers.
Times.
Yeah, the conservative nasty spot.
Ah.
Yeah. That's a conservative spot right there.
Yeah,
I think that, Frank had his I think his bachelor party was at Atlantis.
Oh yeah?
Who?
Yeah, Frank.
Oh, Frank joint was?
Yep. Yeah. And I went there a couple of times with one of my guys. It was the Gentlemen's Club.
Yeah. Gentlemen for gentlemen. Where the strippers kiss you on the cheek and shit. Thanks for the dollars.
Hey, Dave, when you come up to Chicago?
I'll be out there in July from the 2nd through the 9th of July.
Okay. All right, so around the 4th.
Yeah, you gonna be in town around that time?
I don't know. Hopefully I'll make it up there about that time.
Yeah, Dave, put your money to the side, man. We like to do fireworks big, man.
Hey, I'm down with that, man.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me that. I think Carl was telling me y'all put on a huge show.
Yeah, like Navy Pier. Me and Frank went and spent $1,000 at the fireworks spot.
Yeah, that was Frank who told me. Yeah, man. I'm down with that. I'll definitely put on. It was at Michelle's, right?
Yeah.
You got a nice size backyard for it.
I mean, it's perfect because we did it across the street from her house. Okay. It's a big ass park right across the street.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Man, I had wanted to do we went to the comedy show too. I wanted to do a podcast on Kevin Hart.
That shit was funny to me, man.
I haven't seen it yet. What about Kevin Hart? Did you want to do a podcast on?
I'm not. I hate for anything I say about Kevin Hart to be hate. I just thought it wasn't that damn funny. But I thought the guys that preceded him were funnier than he was. I'm not saying that he's not funny at all. I'm just saying that he's not as funny as people make him out to be.
You think his material is like immature?
Immaterial, why? Because my favorite comedian is Dave Chappelle, right? I just feel like what make him different or Jamie Foxx different is because they talk about they'll tell a story, but their story will be reasonable and it'll be real, and he's talking about real shit. Now he had said one funny thing. One of his very last jokes was funny as fuck to me. Kevin Hart. He was talking about Seal showing up to that damn mountain the same weekend he was like, Seal stole my black weekend.
Yeah.
That shit was funny.
So, Twan, you like more political funny than just silly funny. Because I think Kevin Hart, he was funny as shit because he's just a silly motherfucker, man. Mm. And then like I could relate to it because I got little kids.
Yeah.
So like when he was talking about your little kids busting in the room while you and your wife getting it in, You know,
Yeah.
I can relate to that because I got little kids. You know what I mean? And that shit do
But
be
you
funny
going
when
over the
you,
house.
yeah, when you got the freeze under the covers. Oh, whoa, what you want? You know what I mean? So
Kid leave,
he
you like,
just a silly funny.
you think she saw us?
Yeah. So he does a silly funny, man. But Dave Chappelle, like I just recently got into him for real.
Mm.
He's a political funny. You know what I mean? He say the shit that people don't want to say, but they think about the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, you know
It's
who
like
else surprised me a little bit? And his
who?
material was like along the same lines as Dave Chappelle. Chris Rock, the last show that he put out.
Oh, Chris Rock has always been like that.
He has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But
I actually enjoyed his last show. But I
yeah,
forgot the name.
like Chris Rock, Bigger and
Chris
Black.
Rock is political funny.
His 2 or 3 shows prior, I thought were funny as hell. I thought the last one he had, he was just rusty as fuck. So the one he has on Netflix right now, I watched about 30 minutes of it. I cut it off because it was like he was funny, but it just wasn't quite curling. Like his timing wasn't right. Like Martin Lawrence still funny as hell. Martin Lawrence, I feel like he was of a silly type, funny. But he talking about a lot of relationship shit, you know, that I could relate to. It really comes down to what you can relate to, and that'll make it. If you got small kids and he telling jokes about small kids, that's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
But
so Kev didn't give anything. He didn't have any new material. It was like over the same subjects.
I don't know.
Kinda, but he told it the same way, and he used, you know, his kids a lot, like he always do. I don't know, maybe that's why it was funny to me, because he was using his kids, his girl, you know, him getting caught cheating and shit. He touched on that a little bit. But to me it was funnier than I expected, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe because I was just super drunk too. I was fucked up that night.
You
But
gotta
like,
go to the show a little tipsy though, yeah.
Yeah. Was you tipsy, Twan? Was you feeling them drinks?
yeah, actually, I got a headache when I went home, man, because I think I had 1 cup of Jameson and I chased it with like some 7-Up, and it was a big.
Hold on, Jameson.
Yeah.
That old Irish. Come on, y'all.
Hold on.
Oh no, man! You gotta get you some Glenlivet or some Johnny Walker, man. Get you a good Scotch.
I drink Scotch too.
Yeah, I get.
Hold on. Yeah. Oh. You ain't saying nothing, bro. I drink Scotch too.
Oh, there we go. 18 years. There you go.
Yeah. But Jameson is like, the Scotch is my chill, relaxed drink.
Yeah.
The J-Mo is my everyday drink, you know, like, or not every day, but that's my casual drink, you know.
Gotcha.
That's my fallback. But the Scotches and all that, Macallan's, 18 year, all that, I'm into all that heavy, you know what I mean? But I can't afford that shit all the time.
Nah.
I can't afford it all the time. Get the J-Mo.
I hear that.
But yeah, so hey, be it comedy or hip hop, whatever else, we'll have other discussions, man. We'll talk some more tomorrow for sure.
Absolutely.
Or books, whatever else, man. We'll just start. If we might even start not a book club per se, but shit, if it's something we all read, we can all talk about. If something we already read the 48 Laws of Power, you want to go back, get brushed up on that, and then when we come back together, we form like Voltron, split a few, you know, brain cells, whatever else.
Split a few titty cells.
If you guys buy this book right here, we can all talk about it.
Yeah.
Where volume 2 at?
Yeah, volume 2 show the nipples, Twan. Stop flashing that cover up.
Nah, but it's been real, man. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Not really shut it down for them finish packing and shit.
Got you.
All right, yo.
All right, cuz. Love you.
All right, y'all.
One.
Love is love, man. Y'all be cool.
One.
I'll see you tomorrow, Twan.
For sure.
All right.